Yo, it's your boy J. Alexander, AKA your barber's favorite barber, Divine Cuts. And I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Yo, it's Facebook, IG, YouTube, TikTok. It don't matter, it's cell phone alert.
All right, so we got the one and only Divine Cuts jumping off the porch with us today. Welcome, man.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you pulling up on us today,
Absolutely,
too.
absolutely. I've been seeing it, so I was like, let me get involved.
For sure.
And with that being said, I brought a special guest with me, man, to actually cover this particular segment. So if you would, Pastor Ray Donis Bryan, right here in Atlanta, man, Hood and Holy. This is my brother, man, and he's actually on the intro of my new album. So if you could, man, just bless the space.
For sure. L's up all around the studio. Dear Heavenly Father, first and foremost, God, before we had the audacity to ask you for anything, we take this moment to thank you for everything. Thank you for life, health, strength, family, friends, and loved ones. But God, we thank you that this is the day that you have brought my brother to On the Porch. So Father God, we ask that this be a blessed segment, God. Let the word go forth from his mouth, God, that can be edifying to the hearers. But God, we ask that it be love even in this studio, God. Love in our minds, love in our mouths, love in our hearts, that we can move in love. And as we move in love, God, I ask that you elevate us all mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and emotionally in abundance. God, we're against hate, but we love love. So God, let there be more love, gang.
Man, peace. Thank you, brother.
Sure.
So how'd you guys link up here, way out here in Atlanta?
Well, basically, man, I saw him on Instagram, and he was praying to some people in the parking lot at a C.U.T.S, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
And inside that prayer, the people thought that he was a thug or whatever when he rolled up and walked up on them, whatever. And he said, no, I just want to pray for y'all. So when I heard that and heard the real authenticity of the prayer, I was like, man, I got to get into contact with bruh. And youth pastor, you know, I'm involved in my church. So basically, this is what I wanted to do, was come and do this. And I even sampled him, and he's on the intro of my new album that I just brought. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we met.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We good?
Appreciate it.
Sure.
We're gonna get to the meat.
All right,
so Divine, man, so you're from Louisville, man. Talk about, your upbringing and everything up there.
Well, Louisville, my mother was a school teacher, educator, so I got some education, I got some intelligence behind me. Of course, there's trouble to get into. Some of us get into it, some of us don't. Some of us tiptoe in it, some of us don't. But, there's a lot of things that help mold me to become who I am today.
Okay. Yeah, and you got a fascinating journey that we're all going to touch into, man. But first off, you was in this group as a kid, right? Or as a teenager?
Yeah.
Or how old were you at the time?
At the time, I was 16 with my group YGB. Shout out to Adrian Jewell and G Sharp, now known as Wolfgang Amadeus. But we came together as a group, as YGB, Young, Gifted, and Black. And our manager, Haze Jewell, may he rest in peace, he was real instrumental in us trying to further our careers. So he had an untimely death due to kidney disease and passed away. So it kind of hurt our movement as far as continuing to move as aspiring rap artists, as you would say, because Adrian is his brother and he no longer wanted to rap or pursue it based on the fact that his brother had passed away. So with that being said, we broke up, but me and G kept working together every now and then so we chased the dream till we was like 25, but life started lifing, children started happening, and we had to take care of our family. So there goes rapping, income barbering, you know what I'm saying?
Before we hit the barber, though, you guys had a big movement in the city, though, right?
Yeah, we did.
You guys were touring, opening up for some big acts.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
We did. We opened up for Sam the Beast, Nice and Smooth, Bushwick Bill, man, he rest in peace. Sibo, Spice One, Kid and Play, a lot, man. So, yeah, we was on the way at the time when there was no musical outlet for Louisville, Kentucky at the time. So it was still hard to do, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, of course, around that time, the early 90s, moved to Atlanta. And Atlanta began to grow. One of my friends who engineers all my music, now while I'm doing my music on solo, a guy by the name of Mudknock, Jonathan Carter, he engineers my music, and he moved down here in '94 after he graduated high school. And so after that, it was it, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. And so how'd you end up becoming a barber, like, later on then, man?
Well, no, it wasn't really later on. I was 12 when I actually started playing with the Clippers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a slogan that I use too. I play with the Clippers, not the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I picked up my father's Clippers at 11, really, and got in trouble for doing so. And he got mad at me, and my mother heard his anger, and after he left the restroom, she was like, well, what do you want for your birthday? Which was in a month. And I said a pair of Clippers. And after that, I've been cutting hair ever since.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who'd you start off, like, practicing on?
Oh, actually, my cousin, Kiki, man. Kiki, and he got in trouble the whole time for me doing that. He kept rebelling against his mom because I kept leaving patches in his head. And so then a brother by the name of Durrell down the street from me, he was instrumental. Sean Lowry, Joe Reed, a lot of people around my neighborhood, they were instrumental in me becoming a barber.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, you were able to open up your own shop,
Well,
right?
no, it didn't happen that way. I got my license when I graduated high school in '94. Well, I graduated in '93, went to barber school in '94. And then graduated in '95. I started working with a brother out Brownsboro Road, DJ's Barbershop. And after 4 years under his tutelage, I ended up opening my own after going through a couple of other barbershops. And the last barbershop I was at before I decided to open my own was a brother by the name of Darren. So I went and opened my own shop after that. And
Okay.
I've been operating my own shop ever since.
Congrats on that, man. That's what, 25 years, right? If my math is right, I think.
Well, I'm not gonna do the math for you right now on the spot, but it's about that, yeah.
Yeah. So talk about that journey, you know, having this shop for 25 years, man. I'm sure, you know, a lot of ups and downs come with it.
Well, I mean, it does. Of course, like I said, I'm a barber by trade. You know, you got people in and out as far as co-workers. I call them co-workers. They're not employees. Everybody that works with me is a co-worker. You know what I'm saying? So those hiccups. You got to find the right niches. You got to find the right team. You got to find the right people that's going to work with you. So,
Yeah.
you know, going through a lot of that. But other than that, you know.
And you still got a passion for cutting hair today?
Absolutely. I cut hair to this day.
There you go.
Matter of fact, I'm taking appointments still while I'm on the road, you know what I'm saying? But I go back tomorrow, man, and begin cutting again. You know, I just took a break for 2 days just to come and do this because, like I said, I've been seeing the platform, and I wanted to be a part of the platform.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
And then you ended up going to college to be a paralegal, right?
Yeah, man. What do they say? Jack of all trades. And
I was gonna say, you got your hands in everything.
I'd rather not be called the GOAT. I'd rather be called the joke. You know what I'm saying? The jack of all trades. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to a young guy that's on my CD too, man. YGBJ from Crib. He calls himself the joke. So I decided to bring it and use that. You know what I'm saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. But most of us are master of one. You know what I'm saying? But,
What inspired you or motivated to become a paralegal then?
well, to be honest, I've always been interested in law. And as a barber, you get a lot of people talking to you about whatever in their lives, and you hear a lot of things. And I've always had a savvy for the law, so I would share some of what I thought even without being a paralegal. I didn't know if it was right or wrong, explaining what, you know, helping them in these situations. But some people took and used that information and came back and was like, bro, it worked. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, really? That was the inspiration then to go to school. And then my daughter, she started school, and she was like, Daddy, you can go. You ain't never too old, and blah, blah, blah. And so she was really an inspiration too. So at 35, I enrolled, and I went straight through 4 years picked up an associate's in paralegal studies, then a bachelor's in legal studies.
Oh, wow.
And I did not miss a day in 4 years, bro. I had perfect attendance, and I was the class representative of the associate degree. So yeah,
that's super dope.
Yeah,
right there,
absolutely.
man. Yeah. And you worked for one of the big attorneys up there in your city, right?
Yeah, David Yates. Now he's a state senator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's a state senator now. So he's the one that gave me an opportunity, and it was up from there as far as doing legal work.
What was that experience like working for him then?
I mean, it was a great experience. He was a great teacher. He was a great mentor. He's a great person, great individual. Gave me an opportunity to rub elbows, shake hands with individuals I've probably never would have shaken hands with due to where I've come from in a, West End part of Louisville. There's a lot of crime, poverty, so that gave me an opportunity to meet others outside of the people that I normally would be with around, I associate with.
And are you still a paralegal today, or?
That never goes away.
Okay.
However, I work remotely at times with different attorneys, but at the same time, I never forget where my bread was buttered.
Understood, man. So talk about becoming ambassador of Kentucky for the conference progress?
Confess Project.
Confess Project. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, basically what happened, man, it's a brother that I know that worked at the Urban League at the time, and he was looking to bring a mental health awareness piece to a barbershop. And of course, barbershops get a lot of influx of different people. So with that being said, he reached out to me. We did books and barbers there where we brought in books to where children could read actual books and take away their phones when they come in the barbershop, and no pads or none of that, just books. We're gonna read. So with that, he reached out about somebody from Arkansas that had something called the Confess Project. And at the time I was going through my own depression and anxiety. So I felt like it was a cool thing for me to do and get involved in. So I did. I took initiative, and he taught me train me how to train other barbers in being mental health advocates. So basically it's, we use principles like active listening, positive communication, validation, so that way and vulnerability, that way you don't have to be ashamed of speaking about your issues any longer, because as black men, we taught to fold up and don't say nothing about your mental state. But at the same time, when we don't say anything, when we don't acknowledge that, we implode. And now we hurt, not only do we hurt ourselves, we hurt your family, we hurt our family, and we just hurt our families in the process. So the actual guy who organized the Confess Project, Lorenzo Lewis, he was like, look, man, I'm gonna make you the ambassador of Kentucky. You're gonna go around Kentucky and talk to the people about mental health, and this is what we're gonna do to spread this message. And that's what we're doing, and I'm here now. They landed me here 3 years ago, where I taught at a college in Atlanta. I can't remember the name of the college right off. And then I taught at a barber shop in Atlanta too, at Legends, down over top of the Underground. So now they led me back here, you know what I'm saying? So.
No, that's super dope too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
Because it's like, it's a topic that needs to be talked about.
It's not going anywhere, man.
Exactly.
Mental health, now that it's addressed, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And how does it make you feel to be able to talk and kind of help people going through that?
Well, actually it makes me feel good, because when I talk to individuals about it, it actually helps me with my own situation. So I'm actually, if for lack of better words, and I just told you I was educated, but if I could therapize myself through talking to others, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying?
I dig that, man.
Yeah.
And what's some things that you do to, to stay positive and, make sure that your mental health is in good order too?
Well, of course, I like going to the gym now. You know what I'm saying? That has helped. Just chilling, turning the phone off every now and then to where I don't have to have any interruptions or whatever, just having some me time for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. And how you feeling mentally today, though?
I feel good, man. To be honest, man, I really feel good. Like I said, to be able to be here on a platform such as this and share my story, and not only just my story, but a particular part of the story of Louisville whenever we get to that segment of the music or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to share that, and I feel good about doing so. And I feel the love, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate my pastor brother from Atlanta coming through, sharing that love, you know what I'm saying?
No, that was super dope too, man.
Absolutely.
So Seth Firkins, talk about this connection you had with Seth, man.
Oh man, Seth Firkins, oh man. May he rest in peace for real. The new album that I just put out, man, is called The Unbridled Genius, right? And Seth used to engineer for my group that I had when I got back in the game. Basically in 2003, a group came to me called Committee, and they was like, yo, bro, can you manage us? And I was like, man, I don't know nothing about none of that, you know what I'm saying? But just talk, man, just go and try to get us spots. All right, cool. So we ended up going over a guy named Will's house to record. I met Seth Firkins in Will's house. So the label we were signed to was Elite Music with Digital Black from Player, and now he's with Drew Hill. But he has his own label in the city, so called Elite Music. So I told Seth, I'm like, hey man, why don't you come over to this studio, blah, 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 and you can work out on a Avalon or whatever, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. And he was like, all right, cool. So he comes over. Everybody's loving him, you know what I'm saying? He's out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's around, but nobody really knew him. He was bigger than Louisville. He was way bigger than Louisville. So what happened was he asked me, did I have any connections in Atlanta? And I was like, well, yeah, I got a friend that got a studio right off of Old Stewart Avenue at the time, you know what I'm saying? But it's Metropolitan Parkway, Mud Knock. So Mud Knock worked a job in a day, and Seth could come in and take clients during the day while Mud was at work. And then when Mud got home, he would control his own A room, and then Seth would go to the B room. And so I told him, yeah, man, I know Mud Knock. So then they talked, and Seth packed his bags and bounced.
Oh, wow.
And he ended up working with Mud Knock. And then what happened after that was some guy came to the studio, can't remember the rapper, but he came to Mud Knock studio and was like, hey man, we can go up another notch and go to Hot Beats out on 14th Street, whatever. So he goes out there, he meets Lil Wayne, he meets Future, he meets a lot of people, and then he ended up becoming Future's main engineer.
Yeah, he's credited for kind of like developing Future's sound.
Absolutely. And another thing about it was the American Gangster, the intro on American Gangster. There was several engineers that tried and attempted that intro. Seth ended up doing it.
Oh, wow.
And that was Seth's first biggest credit, you know what I'm saying? And after that, he created what you said, Future's sound, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Shout to the Dungeon family. Big Rube, what up, boy?
Yeah.
That's my homeboy.
You got Big Rube on one of your albums too, man.
I do, man.
Yeah.
I got him on last album that I did, man, was Give Me My Flowers.
Yep.
And the song is called Freedom. And Big Rube was just a humble guy, man. I hate to say that word, but all the time, but you know, he was a genuine guy, and he was like, yo, I'll do it for you. And most times people shoot outrageous numbers, you know what I'm saying? I was like, so when he told me what he was gonna do he gave me a turnaround and said, if you don't like anything, I'll redo it, or you tell me. I was like, man, I can't tell you how to do your art, man. You're a poet. This is what you do. You know what I'm saying? So shout to Big Rube, man, for the look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's legendary.
Absolutely.
Like, he's legendary.
Absolutely.
But to have him on your project speaking that shit, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. No, it's a super great look there too, man. Some other Atlanta connections, man. Talk about DJ Toon.
DJ Toon, wow, man, that's my homeboy too, man. Just talked to him 2 days ago. I tried to get him to come over here, but his daughter's in town, and he's been a dad now instead of DJ Toon. But basically, a friend of mine back home, Ray Love, he hooked me up with Toon because I was helping manage a kid by the name of Solo in Louisville. And in managing Solo, I came to Atlanta, and it was like 1:30 in the morning. We was at Mud Knock Studio. Ray Love called Toomp and said, hey, I got this dude from Louisville, man. He makes beats, blah, blah, blah. He's fly, blah. He was like, all right, well, bring him over here. So right around in that complex was Toomp's spot. So we go around, plug up. Now it's 2:30. But at that time, I was taking the Greyhound everywhere. So I was like, man, I got to be at the Greyhound at 6. Y'all just now starting at 2:30. It was like, that's when everything start down here, man. I'm like, all right, cool. So Solo made a beat from scratch for Toomp. And then Toomp said, all right, look, let me tell you what, let me plug in real quick. So he plugged in and was like, and did his thing. And they had a relationship after that. And as far as the relationship goes, I don't know where it is right now, but the relationship that you asked me about Toomp, that's how that started. You know what I'm saying? So I was blessed to have a connect with him and still have a connect with him and be on the phone with him. And so shout out to DJ Toomp.
Yeah, I'm sure it's even motivating just being in the studio watching him create
Absolutely.
too,
Just for somebody out of the blue that he does not know at, again, 2:30 in the a.m. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Toon, man. What about DJ Jelly? How'd you guys connect?
Oh, my God. DJ Jelly, my man. Jelly Bean. Nah, but him too. I was putting out the mixtapes or whatever for my group, committee.
Okay.
And Jelly was, you know, of course, a DJ with DJ Oomp. And so Oomp Camp Click. So Jelly took a liking to how I was working and how I was grinding, how I was hustling for these young guys, upcoming rappers. And so he did whatever he could to help. You know what I'm saying? He would get in contact with people. He would say, send me the music, I'll play it, I'll do this, I'll do that. And from this day, we still have that relationship. And when I told him I was coming here, he told me, yo, I stepped on that porch too. I was on the porch too.
Yeah.
I was like, well, man, I'm in good company, you know what I'm saying? So this is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, Toomp is, a Jelly, man. He's a stand-up guy too.
Absolutely,
man.
absolutely. Real stand-up guy from St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? So Louisville and St. Louis is named after the same King, Louis, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that was the connection, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, Jelly was a good dude, man, is a good dude, and he still rocks with me to the day.
Yeah. And whatever happened to the group committee that you was working with?
Man. It was just situations that were beyond my control, you know what I'm saying? However, I'm still in contact with pretty much 3 of the 5.
Okay.
You know, the guy who assembled the group was Sincere, shout to him, Young Afy, and Ray Love. And Ray Love took a business interest in the music side, so he kind of started helping assist Seth, helping with a lot of things. And the situation that we had at a label, it just didn't go the way we thought it was gonna go. And brothers got frustrated, man. It's no faults, it's just frustration. Yeah. And that's a part of mental health. You know what I'm saying? When you think of it, you know, how can we persevere through these traumas? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, but Sincere, out of everybody, out of the 5, Sincere is the only one still actually actively trying to pursue a career.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, big shout to him because he really is actively trying to pursue his career.
Yeah. And were you rapping at the time that you were managing them too, or
No.
did you take a step back?
No, that's what I was saying. I chased it from 17 to 25, got my own shop. They slide in the shop and go, hey, bro, can you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I used to be a rapper. I don't know nothing about none of this management stuff, but we did some things, man, to where we was able to get out on tour with Field Mob. We did Savannah, we did Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So we was with, and shout to Court Digger, who was Field Mob's manager at the time. We had a couple songs on the radio in Louisville, and at that time, radio was the way. If you got a song on radio, then labels would see a BDS, and then they would hit you up and go, yo, well, who's this getting spins in your city, and blah, 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 and they not really on the real radar, per se. And we had a conversation with Jive, we had a conversation with Bad Boy, and Bad Boy, it was really a good situation. Potentially, Cole Saprari was the A&R at the time, but we won a mixtape battle out of New York, out of Brooklyn with DJ J Fair. And it was like 10 other groups, artists that could possibly win this stamp from J Fair, and then J Fair would give you a whole best of mixtape collaboration. We got that, and then that's when we got the buzz to Bad Boy. Okay. And unfortunately, at the time, he told us that Bad Boy was looking for a group. And we was a group, committee, but at the same time, he was also eyeing, he meaning Diddy, you know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them ones, but he meaning Diddy was eyeing groups. So he ended up putting his real focal point on Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
At the time, Jeezy was already doing a single with Gucci, which was So Icy. So what happened with that, of course, Jeezy being the front man for Boys in the Hood, that means he already got buzz. So Diddy making good business sense at that time for that situation was to take Boys in the Hood over an unknown committee, although there's some emails of communication back and forth that, you know, be prepared, committee's gonna be the next group to blow, just wait your turn, being right, this, you know what I'm saying? So shout to Cole Saprari, I don't know where he's at, but Cole was a dude that was communicating with me as far as A&R for committee at the time.
Gotcha, man.
So we fell short on that, but it is what it is.
Let's talk about the Louisville music scene, man.
Oh, man.
Like you said, you know, the group, YGB, was one of the first ones, like, kind of really making some noise out there, man. Can you kind of give us, like, a little history lesson of the music scene in Louisville, man?
Man, history, I like that, man. That's one of my subjects, too, man. But as far as historically, man, within Louisville, as far as music is concerned, especially hip-hop, it was Louisville rappers, Chris Forehand, who's now a preacher, who worked with Curtis Blow hand in hand in Curtis Blow's career. Chris Forehand and White Boy Mike is what it was his name, White Boy Mike. They used to have a group together in Beatbox Shanti, but White Boy Mike ended up moving to Chicago to pursue house music or whatever. And then you had that was the era in the 90s. And then again, OG Derek Bond, in the 80s, excuse me, in the 80s. OG Derek Bond, Chris Forehand, Chris Flo, White Boy Mike. Then in the early 90s, there was Underground Mafia, the Gangsta Walk, and then there was a little bit of back and forth between Louisville and Memphis of who created the Gangsta Walk, you know what I'm saying?
Really? Okay.
Absolutely. SMK is a group in Memphis that is attributed to coming up with the Gangsta Walk. And so is Underground Mafia here, DJ Bam and MC Bodie, may they both rest in peace, man. But they ended up getting a deal with Sam Records or whatever out of New York. And regionally, they were the go-to guys, are the guys we all looked up to doing music in Louisville locally.
Yeah.
After that, YGB was accredited, my group was accredited with being like the first group to pedal out of the trunk 500 copies of a tape of just a A and B side single tape on the first run, 500 copies. Even Underground Mafia didn't do that. But they had a big enough buzz and a great manager who took them where they needed to go. And then on their second run, of course, they doubled us or whatever, quadrupled us, flew past us. But our grind and our hustle due to our manager, Haze, again, that was how. And then you had others come out of the trunk. Our street pedal is like Unstoppable, Father Ja and his crew, PGL, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people that, and then fast forward after the 90s, you had Nappy Roots do No Brush, No Fade, No Comb. That was one of their CDs before they blew up. And then they began to be Nappy Roots out of Bowling Green. Shout out to them. So they rep Louisville, Bowling Green, Georgia.
Yeah, they represented Kentucky.
Yeah, they represented Kentucky, and that was the whole thing, man. It's a conglomerate of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, you had
Static Major.
well, before Nappy Roots, you had Player, who what you just said, Static.
Okay.
So Player was in '98 when they left and went to New York and went with Timberland and all. 2003 or 4 is when Nappy Roots came with they thing. And it's like every 5 or 10 years, man, we'll have somebody. And then you had KD, he was regional, local and regional. Never really made national per se. And if I'm wrong, bro, I apologize, but you know what I'm saying? But then you had, of course, Bryson playing in the crib, doing what he does, and his song blew up out of the crib. Then you got Jack Harlow, who actually the people who helped press my album, Jack started on that label.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Sonic Blast Records and Jack Harlow too. And then you have ES, so as of right now, we're just looking for the next, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy for everybody that has kicked in the door, that's showing people that Louisville definitely has that talent, although we never had a hub to where we could get out the music, you know what I'm saying? It's not an Atlanta, New York, Chicago, LA, or even a Miami for that matter, but Louisville has always been a hotbed for talent.
Yeah, I'm sure the biggest challenge is just getting recognized.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what CDs did you bring with you today?
Oh man, I thought you never asked. Actually, this is the collector's edition of my new album, man. It's called Yoda, The Unbridled Genius. Shout again to Seth for giving me a name years ago. It was quoted in the Velocity. It was a local newspaper, man, where he, and basically what an unbridled genius is somebody that can't be controlled, somebody that can't be harnessed. You know what I'm saying? And I was wild with my ideas. And I thought ideas, I'm an idealist. So, here's an idea. Run with it. If you can help me market it, man, run with it. It'll make sense. You know what I'm saying? Just believe me in my idea. And basically that's it, man. And it just dropped tonight on the platforms, on all the streaming platforms.
Okay.
But I got some hard copies that I'm gonna sell one of them to you for $50, bro, because I just turned 50 and
Congrats,
I'm still chasing
man.
I'm still chasing this 50, you know what I'm saying? I'm still chasing the rap, but not really chasing it per se. But the hard copies I want for people to have as far as collector's edition.
Yeah.
I'm not into vinyl or nothing of that nature because I'm not really a real rapper anymore because I got a life, you know what I'm saying? I do life stuff. So, but I still wanted to give you my music. I want my music to be heard, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the face of my music. I want my music to be the face of me, but it's kind of weird saying that, right? And I'll explain it to you. I'm not really one that does all the TikToks or all the Facebooks or all the Instagrams. Look at my music, listen to my music, and I'm doing all these. I think music speaks for itself, and you don't necessarily have to do that. And I come from a school of old, so music spoke before we had the internet, before we had social media. Music spoke. It wasn't who you were to sell the music. Now we're buying images instead of music. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be the face of my music. I want my music to be the face of me. So if you hear my music, you go, whoa, all right, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of oxymoronic. I got a song, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead, I'll let you.
I was just gonna ask, do you have a personal favorite song on Yoda, or one that you plan to push as a single?
Well, the irony in that is a song called Social Media.
Okay.
But really, I talk about how social media, on that particular song, man, I talk about how social media is controlling us. We can't do anything without social media. And I guess that's why I'm here, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to be on YouTube to share this message about social media, you know what I'm saying? And I hope people get the message as far as what I'm saying, as far as it concerns with social media. We controlled by it, man. We controlled by it. I mean, I guess that's why you have the platform you have. You know what I'm saying? And that's not no direct diss to you or anything, but it's just saying, you can monetize off social media. But also people can make fools of themselves.
Which we see every day.
On social media as well. Absolutely. And apparently Zuckerberg got the game in a wrist lock. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter laptop or wristwatch. You know what I'm saying? We still got to check for validation, notification, dopamine sensation. That's every time we just look for a like, all love. Anytime we post this, man, and then when we get an angry face or a sad face, then we want to come back to people who sad-faced or angry-faced us. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a cyber war, you know what I'm saying, intellectually. And those that don't get those likes or hearts, guess what? They go into what? A deep depression. And there I am again, still trying to talk to people about, look, man, that don't validate you. You know what I'm saying? Pick yourself up by the bootstraps and let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much.
Yeah. You had a feature on social media too.
Yeah, I did. Dude named Sly Stallone,
Okay.
man. He's from Louisville, man. Matter of fact, he was actually gonna be signed by Bad Boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was a crazy deal. I won't divulge his information as far as the deal, but I do know it. But Conrad DeMonch was an A&R at that time and came to Louisville, and Sly killed a showcase. Flew him out, talked to him, offered him, but no. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is with that, but I was proud of the fact that bro was able to get that recognition and go and rub those elbows.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Shout to Sly, still on, baby. We still on.
A few years ago, you worked with Four Eyes on this People Talk.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you know about Four Eyes, man? You know Four Eyes?
He was with Disturbing the Peace, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was a beast. Man.
And no, was a beast. He is a beast. Last year, he did a freestyle every day. 365 days.
That's
He did a freestyle. But shout to Four Eyes, man. I met him at Mud Knock Studios. He was in there. I was actually recording my granddaughter at the time just because she wanted to do something, because she had just moved to Atlanta. And she wanted to do a rap. So I wrote it, and she was 8 years old, and she wrote the rap. I wrote the rap, she sung, and Mud Knock recorded her, and it was a blessing for her birthday. And Four Eyes was in there listening, and he was like, yo, if you need me, I'll pen Kitty raps too.
Oh,
and I was like, real? He's like, man, I'll pen a commercial, I'll pen a sitcom, I'll pen a, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So with that, I've always kept him close and was like, yo, man, you want to do a song with me? And he did. And then I said, well, look, I'm going to come back to Atlanta and shoot the video. My man's going to let me use the barbershop over the Underground Legends. And we can go in and do the People's Talk joint right there, because it was about people talk so much about me at barbershops. Kanye sample. Shout out to Kanye, man. I can't wait to meet you one day, bruh. But, but nah, for real, that was pretty much.
Yeah, that record was super dope too, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you listened to it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Of course, man.
So what made you come up with this platform?
I actually didn't come up with the platform. My business partner did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know why he came up with it? What was the?
So he was doing marketing for Young Dolph at the time, and Young Dolph didn't want to do interviews. So he literally said, man, he's like, my business partner's name's Spitty. So he said, man, if you'll interview me, I'll go ahead and do an interview with you. So they literally just went outside and shot a video on the porch.
Wow.
And that was the first episode.
And it's crazy you bring up Young Dolph, man. Speaking of Young Dolph, man, in November, the Confess Project, we do something called Dolph Day, where we give back to the community and cut hair in honor of Young Dolph, because at the time, Young Dolph was an aspiring barber as well.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of just rapping, you know what I'm saying? Leads again to my first album, I Don't Just Cut Hair.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I do a lot of things other than cut hair, and if you can tell the album cover, I was sitting on the porch of where I grew up.
Yeah, you
so
were.
I've been off the porch, fam. You know what I'm saying? I've been off the porch. That's what made me want to really come and just share my story, and just share a lot of stories in the city of Louisville too, as far as the music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you got any songs that you heard outside of what I've submitted or whatever, that you actually listen to, we can get into that. And I want to engage with you in that.
I got you.
All
Can you share some, some advice for the youth coming up right now today too?
Well, of course, listen to elders. As far as the youth is concerned, listen to your elders, man. People have been out here doing things that you think is cool to do based on some glorification, based on social media or any other outlet that you may see to think is cool. And the youth, the adults been around. So I hope that you will actually take heed to some of the teachings and some of the sayings that adults say to the youth, as far as stop dealing with, you know what I'm saying, guns, drugs, felonious situations, mischievous situations. Just, man, we need our community back. You know what I'm saying? We need the unity in the community, man. And but at the same time, man, our youth are in a genuine position to where they actually speak to us too and teach us too. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta learn to listen to them as well.
Yeah.
We can't always be the, I told you so. You know what I'm saying? So the youth got something to say too. Like Dre said, the South got something to say, the youth got something to say.
Absolutely, man. I forgot to mention you got the Woodford bottle there, man.
Oh man, well, I do. Most people come on here and smoke weed and stuff. But I'm from Kentucky, man.
Yeah.
I'm from the home of bourbon.
Yeah, I'm a big bourbon fan. Not as much as I used to be.
You a big bourbon fan?
I used to be, yeah.
Oh, well,
Woodford is one of my favorites.
Well, I
though.
brought a gift for you though.
What you got?
This is Bro Brothers. I didn't open it. You see, I ain't open it. But shout out to Chris, y'all, bro, and the rest of his brothers, man. But this is a black-owned bourbon company,
Okay.
man, in the city of Louisville. They distill it in the West End, in the heart of the city,
Really?
man, in the heart
Oh,
of
wow.
the ghetto, bro. And so I'm gifting you this, man. I brought this for y'all,
Thank you,
man.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I do love bourbon. I love bourbon, man.
It was one of your big singles, right?
Ah,
I like my bourbon.
dude, so what did you think about that, man?
I mean, it's a good song.
Now, what's crazy about the song is I live in a town where we distill bourbon all the time. I live in a state where we distill the bourbon, but I'm like,
It's the only place where bourbon can be made is in Kentucky, right?
no, not really. But based on the fact that we have limestone and that water that comes off the limestone that gives us that bourbon, that real bourbon, you know what I'm saying? So basically it's a saying that says, every bourbon is whiskey, but every whiskey ain't bourbon.
Correct, yep.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, but I live in a city and a state, man, that promotes bourbon to its highest. And I'm like, man, I got an ode to bourbon. You know what I'm saying? I got a song about bourbon. You know what I'm saying? I even went out and found a artist that played guitar for Reba McEntire and Vince Gill to give it that feel. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it hasn't matriculated to what I thought it would do, but it is what it is, man. Again, I'm not chasing the music or chasing the fame for the music. Again, I don't want to be the face of my music. I want my music to be the face of me. And again, you heard Bourbon and you liked the song. So, but at the same time though, it's crazy how the year I put out the song, Old Town Road blew up. Billy Ray, he's from Kentucky, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how now Shabuji, what's his name?
I don't know how to pronounce
it.
it.
Well, I mean, no disrespect to the unpronunciation of his name, but he's got the new Everybody Getting Tipsy song. Then you have Blanco Brown, you have Moneybag Yo, Whiskey. I'm like, man, I mean, if you ever heard the I Like My Bourbon, it's one of them songs. But again, man, we don't have the market that other markets have as far as music is concerned. But again, you know, God willing, man, this song will do what it does because there's no ending date to that song. I never dated that song. You see what I'm saying? So it should have some legs soon, and it should have some wings, and it'll go. Yeah. It'll go because, again, it's what it is.
Yeah. Divine, what else you working on right now, man? What else is coming up for you in the future?
Well, in the future, man, I'm just trying to hold myself together mentally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm thinking about a new album already, and I just put this out at midnight tonight just so I could have it, make sure it was ready. You know, it's strategic, even though I'm not trying to push myself per se, but I understand marketing too. Just want to continue to work with some local artists around the city, man, especially with this new album. You know, especially a guy, one of the guys on there, I don't know if you listened, but I hope you did. DeJuan Rainey, man, the guy that's singing on the Gemini and the Looking Back with myself. He's a dope vocalist, and he's a dope arranger, and a lot of people that I work with, I just want to try to help them pursue their careers because I do understand somewhat of marketing. Mm-hmm. Even if I never do anything, I do want to see my city do what they do, you know what I'm saying? And those that have helped me along the way, I would love to see them go and blow, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it, but I'm gonna keep cutting hair, I'm gonna keep, you know what I'm saying, coming up with ideas, and hopefully I can give them to individuals that can use them.
I dig it, man. All right, Divine, you got a shout out you'd like to give before you wrap it up here, man?
Shout outs, man. Well, I think I did that during the process.
I mean, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure everybody I know, you know what I'm saying, got some love. You know, it's people that I work with, you know, B-Boy, love him to death. Shout out to him. I told you Juan. As far as this music is concerned, I told you YGBJ, C.U.T.S the guy. He's somebody's next. You know, I got a little stroll song, like a little line dance song on the album that I think Atlanta loves, like little line dances and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I got one of those, man. It's just a complete all the way around. Thankful for everybody who came before me that was from Louisville, you know what I'm saying? They represented Louisville in a way, you know what I'm saying? No matter how they represented Louisville, it's great to see them be able to put Louisville on the map, you know what I'm saying? I speak highly of our city. Again, like I said, we don't have those outlets that a lot of you guys have in the bigger cities, but geographically, number-wise, Louisville was one of the bigger markets before Nashville, Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? It's just, we never took the step to become the bigger city, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully our elected officials and mayors and state officials see that entertainment is something that Louisville has, artists is something that Louisville has. You know, we even outside of music, you got Jennifer Lawrence, you know what I'm saying? The Game of Thrones, all of that stuff, man. Come on, man. We can't be in the conversations with your Atlantas. You know what I'm saying? I'm sad I had to come here, but glad I came here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what's a tongue in cheek, but you know what I mean? I had to come where the outlets are to be able to say what I want to say and be able to, you know. And hopefully, like I said, this will help propel, not me, but my city, man, to give a light to my city, man, to where it's people there that actually rep the culture, man. You know what I mean? Shout to Native. Native, he lives here now in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He done some work with David Banner. You know, again, Static Major, may he rest in peace, man. He's a very influential guy about our music. He was just about to blow before his untimely situation, man. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on, bro. Like, I mean, accepting the call, working with me with dates and times and all of that, man. But I do appreciate it. I do sip bourbon a lot, although, and for one, I want to make a disclaimer. I know we started off with prayer. I'm still a work in progress too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Like, I like bourbon. I got a song called it, you know what I'm saying? But I like the Lord too. And I like keeping it real too. So that's why I didn't want no sunglasses. I know shades on. I wanted you to see me. I wanted you, not just you, but you know what I mean? I wanted you to see me. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the truth through a man's eyes, man. So I wanted to talk to you about that, and I'm gonna go back and cut hair tomorrow, go back and try to build people's self-esteem from mental health. You know what I'm saying? I'm an advocate for mental health, and again, shout out to Lorenzo, Darnell Rice, man. These are the people from Arkansas that helped me be who I am as far as the advocate for mental health. You know, list goes on and on, man, but Hug Bizzle, appreciate you, brother.
All right, cool.
DJ Q. Matter of fact, hold up. DJ Q is like one of the guys, man, in the city. He moved from Terre Haute, Indiana in like 2000, 99. But he's been a staple in our community, and now he's program director at B96. And a lot of people, including myself, wouldn't even have no records played on radio if it wasn't for this guy really trying to talk to his superiors and say, look, man, at least give him an outlet, at least give him an opportunity. And so he's put his neck out on the line for a lot of local artists to be played in spots where you could play a Drake, or Kendrick, or Sexy Red, or Megan. You know what I'm saying? He's put his career on the line to play a nobody, such as Divine Cuts. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I appreciate it. And for 4 years, I've been having one song on the radio every Sunday, but it's a gospel song. It's a song that was really made out of the Breonna Taylor movement. You know what I'm saying? And COVID. So that song has been in rotation on B96 since August of 2020. And again, shout to him and, you know, Mark Gunn for being one of my mentors, you know. So that's pretty much it, man. Anything else you would like to add, or anything you would like to think of that I didn't say?
No, I think we got everything. Got everything I wrote down, so.
So you did listen to some of my music? I just want my music to be heard. That's what the intro says on my new album, you know what I'm saying? I just want my music to be heard.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll go to TV, you know what I'm saying? Sitcoms, movies, That's all I want my music for, man. Like I said, I'm 50 years old. I'm not trying to jump up and down, run across the stage at this late in my life with no exercise of doing so. You know what I'm saying? If I could get behind the scenes and get a mechanical joint, man, a mechanical royalty, I'm cool, man. Just off somebody liking a song and putting it on soundtrack, movie, CD, sitcom or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Yo, it's Facebook, IG, YouTube, TikTok. It don't matter, it's cell phone.